Yeah, mate, yeah, just on my way to Montreal now. Yeah, just taking off, mate, yeah. The pit crew's exhausted. Well, tell them to go to bed earlier. A 50% chance of an error in the pit stops. Well, what is it usually? That seems pretty good. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Forza Ferrari. Today we have the Canadian Grand Prix, and after our podium last time out in Spain, it would be very nice to try and back that up again today. But unfortunately, our pit crew is exhausted. They were at 90%. I don't know if you can kind of see it there, but they were at 90%. We've changed their training schedule to just give them time off because the error rate was well over 50%. Obviously, with time off, it has come back. It's only an extra 17% chance of just under 50%. So chances are someone, and I'm assuming this is going to be a one-stop race because it usually is in Canada, somebody is going to get a messed up stop, and that'll just be breaking even on what we're expecting. So that's not great, I've got to say. But quick reminder of where we stand here. We are third in the Constructors. We're comfortably-ish ahead of Mercedes, but we are kind of well behind Aston Martin, despite them only scoring, was it 3 points last time out. The drivers, Antonio Giovinazzi is there in fourth, and we have Mick up in seventh now. Not too far away from Hamilton and Stroll, so nice to see him scoring some decent points, isn't it? So yeah, let's hope that these guys can keep going for us. Now there's a little bit to catch you up on in terms of facilities. If we go and have a look here, our weather center was upgraded to level 4. I've upgraded again to level 5. I just want that to be as good as it can be. It could make the difference in a wet race of whether we come in a lap sort of dead on or if we're a lap or two out. So yeah, I think it's important that we upgrade that whilst we have the money to do so. And the other thing that has happened, if we go and have a look at the cars, is we have a new underfloor that has been developed at great cost, might I say. We had to emergency manufacture them to get them on the car, because you can see, I think you can see above my head here, we needed more of our underfloors anyway. The sort of the wear rate, they weren't passing inspection. So we've gone and got that. We've got them on both cars. We've got 4 of them. We will develop a little bit more. We'll manufacture a little bit more once we're done. That looks as though it should be quite good for us. Underfloors are usually pretty powerful with the modern F1 car. So let's hope. And around Canada, underfloor may not be that much of a thing, because it's might be a little bit more sort of straight line speed and stop start. But it can't hurt, can it? It can't hurt. So that is everything there. Let's have a quick look at the track. It looks as though we are expecting rain for the race, which is excellent. We will confirm that in just a minute. So for qualifying purposes, red is sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow sector 3. We can see there it's fast. There's a couple of chicanes, and it's it is more or less just very stop go. And when you go, you really do go. So top speed is going to be important for us. Time considerations there. It is a short pit lane at Montreal, so the time loss is minimal. So if there is to be an extra stop, it's not. It's you do have not too much time loss apart from when you pit crew stuff up. So the soft tire is about half a second a lap faster than the hard tire, and degrades roughly twice as quickly, but not too bad. So realistically, you look at that. The medium and the soft tyre look to be the ones. The hard tyre is not a terrible tyre. Half a second a lap, degrades slower. So we'll see. We'll just see what we get, won't we? Historically here, let's have a look. Verstappen and Hamilton, though of course they did miss a couple of years there with COVID, didn't they? So that is our race prep. Let's have a look at our performance targets here. So reach Q2, someone in the top 4, you'd like to think so. You'd like to think we can reach Q3. I don't know exactly what a difference someone in the top 4, the underfloor is going to make. I hope it's a big one. I really do. So we've got one driver in the top 6 to finish 2 races in a row, should be doable, and 1 in the top 6 for qualifying. Again, that should be doable. All right, so let's head off to Montreal. It's going to be wet. Let's see how wet it's going to be. So moderate rain, which is excellent. So that's right in the middle. It could be heavy, it could be wet, it could be inters, it could be anything. So that's fun, isn't it? All right, I'm going to do some free practice, and I'll see you for qualifying. All right, so it is time to qualify, and let's have a look at how free practice went. Now, one thing I would say is don't be so concerned about the times or the gaps. Our engine that we're using in free practice is quite old at this point, so it is going to be costing us power. It was an interrupted session for weather, but FP1 and 2, so 4th and 7th in the end. which is absolutely fine. FP2, you can see there it was 8th for Mick and 11th for Gio. So again, not too bad, all things considered. And then FP3, it was 7th and 9th again, so albeit on a soft tyre this time. So, yeah, not too bad. I'll show you the condition. The engines, yeah, we're going to put in a brand new one for this track because it is quite power sensitive. So, yeah, both cars are in a similar condition when it comes to all the engine parts here. So, yeah, we'll upgrade. We'll put the new ones in. New underfloor. Q1 should be fine, so let's go and confirm that. Alright, so just the one run, got out nice and early, got it done. Unfortunately, the new underfloor looks like maybe we're still a little ways away from where we ideally want to be, but ultimately we're through. Let's go to Q2. Okay, so we did our first run on used tyres as ever. We've got our new set on now. Now, Mick is currently 5th, only 7/10 off the top, which is not too bad. Giovinazzi, though, had another one of these weird laps. I didn't see any traffic for him, and he's over a second off the pace. You know, it's half a second behind Mick, so I'm not really sure what has gone wrong there, but he's done a green first sector here. Mick has not done a personal best, which is always a little bit frustrating when that happens. Has he got any traffic? No, so I'm not quite sure what's going. He's got a little bit perhaps in front of him. It shouldn't be too bad. Anyway, Gio is doing fine. He's done 2 green sectors. Mick should be okay anyway. It'd have to go a little bit wrong for him to get knocked out from here. And Giovinazzi, if he can finish off the lap, should find himself well into the top 10. He goes 4th, and Mick looks as though he's going to stay 6th. So that's a little bit more like it. So there we go. We are ahead right now of the Mercedes of George Russell, which is a nice place to be. Let's go to Q3, see where we're going to be starting. Alright, we are on board with Mick. We have Giovinazzi just in front of us. We are currently 3rd and 5th after that first run on used tyres. We're going to have a brand set of softs for the race. Just to make sure, we've got a brand set of softs. Should have a brand set of 2 brand new sets of mediums, I think. What I just want to make sure is that if we, just to cover, you know, when the rain, when it does show up as expected, just to make sure that we're covered for new sets of, whether we need a soft at the start, medium at the end, or medium with a bit of rain in the middle. I just want to make sure we've got our bases covered. Now, Mick is not on a lap here, but Giovinazzi is. He has gone green. Can he get ahead of Verstappen, put himself on the front row of the grid? Go on, Antonio. He has not quite managed it. Mick looks as though he's going to stay 5th, which is a little bit disappointing in the end. Is anybody else going to go any better? What's some sector times here? Do we have anybody on a lap? No, it looks like everybody's finished. So 3rd and 5th. So I think we'll take that one. We're going to be a wet one, so we'll find out exactly how good we are. But Giovinazzi, that pulled out his fastest lap. Got quicker in each session, which is what you like to see. Mick, yeah, didn't just... Q2, he kind of peaked a little bit there, didn't he? Look at that, same time as Lance Stroll, but must have done it first. So we get in and look at how close this is actually. 12-0, 12-0, 12-0, and 12-0. There is absolutely nothing between 5th and 8th on the grid. Alright, so let's have a look at race strategy here. That is suggesting an intermediate tyre could do the whole thing for us. So it's going to be dry at the end. So that's going to be a soft tyre. Now the question is this with moderate rain an inter or a wet tyre? And it's always just a nightmare, isn't it, to know which, what is what. So that's probably what we're looking at. The soft tyre is going to be somewhere around there, you would think. Now, is that soft tyre? Oh yeah, soft tyre is easily going to go that far. So we can push as well. This is going to be an interesting race. We've just got to hope that intermediate is indeed the one to start on. Okay, so we're starting at 3 and a bit mil. I just saw that there then. Hang on. And that is, so we're starting at where we're expecting it to be about at its wettest. So it's if that is true, then an inter is the right tire for us, and we can do that with both cars. And yeah, we've just got to keep it out of walls and hope that we're there at the end, don't we? Okay, welcome back. It is properly raining, isn't it? Look at that. And yeah, well, let's get on board with our boys here and see what we can do. 2 Red Bulls are in front of us. We've got Russell down the outside, turns into the inside, and we've not been on the right side of the grid for that, have we? Don't give it up. Don't give it up, Gio. Come on, mate. Come on, mate. Come on, mate. We are doing our ERS here just to try and... we've lost out, unfortunately. We've lost out to Mick's lost out one as well. So both cars, we're just on the wrong side of the grid, it looks like, doesn't it? We need to be on the other side of the grid. But there's not much we can do about that, really. So we'll just get on with things, and hopefully... It's a long race, isn't it? 70 laps. The laps do go by kind of quickly, but it'll obviously be a little bit longer in the wet. Now, if the Red Bulls can take each other out, that'd be good. We currently have the Aston Martins, Stroll in 5th, Alonso in 9th. Now, you imagine Alonso's going to come through, but if we could outscore Aston Martin for a second race, then maybe we just start and think that we could get the better of them. But we're relying a lot on this underfloor and some other upgrades that will come at a later time. We need them to push us up the grid. So fingers crossed that does actually happen for us. But we're coming up to the point where there will be no what's it called, DRS, will there? Because it's a wet race. So we'll back off the batteries, and hopefully we'll have just the pace in the car without that to be able to keep pace and see what we can do. It's kind of promising though. Looks like Hamilton is dropping away from the back of Mick. So that's a good sign if he can get a bit of a Lewis train going, and a nice gap opening up. Anyway, we'll see where this race goes. I'm sure there's going to be a safety car or red flag or something. Alright, we have been charging our battery behind George Russell here. We're charging our battery with Mick as well, but he's dropped off a little bit. So we are going to try and deploy now, and we're going to get ourselves past George Russell here, and then see if we can chase after the Red Bulls. We're faster. We've been sort of just stuck behind both of them. You can see Mick did drop off a little bit while he was charging his battery. Hopefully, he'll be able to just sort of catch that back up naturally now. But here we go. Here we go. It looks like Antonio has got that done. And we will deploy to start this straight, and then we'll go back to neutral. That should be fairly comfortable now. We can go and chase after the Red Bulls. Our lap times are, I mean, they were comparable to Verstappen, who's leading the race. And that was behind George Russell. So that's not too bad. And if we go back and have a look at Mick now, he'll close this gap back up, and hopefully we can get him past these two cars in front, Stroll and Russell. Find ourselves third and fourth as Giovinazzi sets the fastest lap of the race. And the red cars are moving forward. We seem to have good race pace, which is excellent news. Alright, so here we go. We have caught the back. We're still on the same lap, actually. We've caught the back quite quickly here. We are now deploying. We're going to try and get, hopefully, Stroll, if not into here, then into the first corner. And then see if we can go about George Russell a little bit soon after that, as Ocon sets the fastest lap of the race. Of course, fastest lap at this point means essentially nothing, because it's going to be dry later on, soft tyres. That's when fastest lap of the race will be done. We've got past Stroll. Now, can we go and get George Russell as well here, please, Mick? We have just dipped into the negative on the fuel, but that's fine because it's wet. We're over-fueled quite badly, I think. But it is allowing us to push at the end of the straights, which is, I think benefiting us a little bit. We've burnt through the ears, so that's not ideal. But can we go and get George Russell anyway, or are we going to have to sit back here and try and recharge the battery again? I fear it might be a case of the latter. Let's have a crack at him out of this corner. We're definitely faster, aren't we? We're definitely faster. Can we go? Stick one up the inside, Mick. Go on, mate. Go on, mate. Late on the brakes. Not quite. And can we have another go here? We'll go back to neutral, up the inside at the hairpin. That should be job done. Now, do we have the acceleration and the drag to be able to get him up the straight here with no real battery power? If we can hold on to into turn one, then I say we've got this move done, because we're definitely faster as Verstappen's putting his foot down now. It looks like he's seen the Ferraris coming. That's the problem, isn't it? So, yeah, we've done that. Looks like Stroll's got past Russell as well. And, let's see if we can chase down these Red Bulls now. And I tell you what, Giovinazzi is doing a very good job of it. He has caught the back of Perez. I don't know if we've quite got the pace to get past him just now. But we're quick. We're quick in these wet conditions. Now, is this the underfloor? Maybe, I wonder, sucking the car down. We've got more grip than others. Fastest lap is sort of being traded back and forth. I'm shocked that George Russell's got it, because he was a bit of a mobile chicane for us there, wasn't he? But we're only about, what, 3 seconds off the lead here? Yeah, we can see Verstappen, can't we? Just up ahead there. So we're putting some pressure on Red Bull, and it's the first time we've been able to say that this series. So let's hope that we can continue to do it. Alright, well the good news here is that we are very much the second fastest cars in this race. The Red Bulls, when they want to go, they kind of drive off in the distance a little bit, but Giovinazzi has been slowly hunting Perez back down again after he did, so you can see there, did fastest lap and really caught up to the back of Verstappen. Yeah, I mean, you can see we're pulling away from Stroll and from Russell. They're mixed driving away from them, which is good. And yeah, the track looks like it is slowly drying out as well, but we've got easily enough tyre to get to where we need to at the end there. And as long as it doesn't not dry out, then us pushing the tyres is going to be absolutely fine. So, yeah, well, stay tuned. Let's see. We're looking good for a podium. Could we do even more than that? Could we beat a Red Bull? Well, this has made life interesting. Sergio Perez into turn 1 has Sergio Perez. He's locked up. He's gone straight on. It's let Giovinazzi get past him up into second. And Mick is now right behind him looking for a podium as well. So, actually, he's not quite right behind him. But Giovinazzi is definitely in front. And he's not in front anymore. But that's okay. He's right there with him. And that's just pressure showing, isn't it? They're not used to having someone pressuring them. Well, Alonso maybe, but certainly not us. You can see we are coming into traffic as well here. So it's about to get a little bit chaotic. But Perez has just given us a sniff there.
No more rain.
Oh, and we've stopped with no more rain. Okay, now is our weather centre completely convinced of that? So this is going to change a few things if that is indeed the case. Still a little bit to go. But the sun is definitely out, isn't it? So this could well be a medium... Are we at a medium tyre situation? Interesting, interesting. Alright, we're going to have to keep an eye on things here. And yeah, the track is going to dry out. Alright, the track is drying quicker than expected. It's about to go dry, so we are stopping this lap. Now, it doesn't look as though anybody else is, so we are first ones in.
Easy on the way.
We should be able to double stack here. We've got 7 seconds between. We just need to not stuff this up, please, boys. That's good. Mick, in he comes, looking good, looking good. It's a little slow, but it's not terrible. And so, yeah, small pit stop issue for Mick. But at second, we could just about accept that, I think. Because there's no one behind us that is really, you know, really going to hurt us. What we will do, though, is we will deploy, partly because we want to try and get fastest lap if we can. But also, could we get an undercut here on Perez? How much faster are we going to be on our soft tyres on this out lap than they are on their in lap on the inters on a track that was relatively dry? Verstappen is out of the pits. Have we seen Perez? It says we're in front of Perez. It says we're in front of Perez. Is that true? It looks like we are just. We are just in front of Perez. So we are second and fourth right now. Mick is about 6 seconds behind Perez. So he was nowhere. He was never going to be in that race. But there we go. Now, we were on soft tyres. Everybody's on soft tyres. Yeah, there was an argument to maybe say a medium. But a soft tyre should get you there. Now, how's our bid for fastest lap going here? We've done green, purple. We have unfortunately run out of ERS. Mick might pick it up because he does still have some battery power left. So Giovinazzi's gone fastest, a 15.7. Let's see if Mick can go and beat that now. He does. What's Mick done? Mick has done a 15.4.
Really good pace.
So the real question now is, are we going to be able to keep Sergio Perez behind us? He's 2 seconds back. It's going to be a big ask, but we're going to see exactly how good this car is now, aren't we? Oh, safety car! Safety car, safety car, safety car. It's Giovinazzi and Perez.
Safety car.
What has
Safety
happened
car.
there? Sergio, what have you done, mate? I mean, it looks quite serious. Sergio, you might want to get out of the car, mate. You're on fire. But that is...
Big shunt
well,
on
I
the
want this
main straight.
replay. What has happened there?
Watch out.
And the big winners out of this is Aston Martin as Stroll goes
He's
up to
okay,
third.
No problem.
So Perez gets the time penalty, which doesn't help us. Maybe they'll send him back out so we can serve it this race. But yeah, we're not going to see what's happened, unfortunately. Not that it matters, but I dare say he's tried to go up the inside and yeah, it's taken Gio with him. What a disappointment. Okay, so safety car is in this lap. We have a fully charged battery, we have petrol to burn, we have pretty good tyres, and we have Max Verstappen in front of us, Lance Stroll behind us. If we can go from anything from the first part of this race, we have the second fastest car. Can Mick go and beat Max? That's a big ask, isn't it? But you never know. We can go with him for as long as possible. Get the DRS, kind of sit behind him, and maybe we can try and pull a bit of a banzai, move into the final corner of the last lap or something with a DRS. But we've got to burn the ears because we've got to, not only have we got to stay with Max, but we've got to make sure we're staying ahead of Stroll, Hamilton, Russell, and co now. Yeah, it was looking so good to pull points back there on Aston Martin too, wasn't it? And it just all went a little bit wrong. But we are staying with Verstappen right now. So that is something. And, oh, here we go. We actually don't necessarily want to overtake him though, Mick, if I'm honest. Let's get the ploy back on. We just want to make sure that we're in the DRS zone when that time comes. And yeah, well, those couple of laps have gone much better than expected. There's DRS enabled again, and we're there. We're within half a second. Can Mick do it? That would be a turn up, wouldn't it? And Mick Verstappen, Mick Schumacher leads the Canadian Grand Prix. Nice move there. Now, we don't necessarily want to be in front, though, because we want to try and charge our battery, I think, and get him on the last lap. Alright, so we have 9 laps to go. We are back behind Verstappen, but that's okay, because we've got our battery fully charged. And we really do just need to try and sit here. Then we should have enough charge in the battery to do 2 laps of ours. So on lap, say, 69, we just go for it. Multiple cars have crashed. Are we going to have another safety car? Multiple cars have crashed. We get a replay of this one. Looks like K-Mag is involved in this one. And, yeah, it's the bald man fighting over a cone brigade. That's all a little bit silly, really, isn't it? So, no safety car there necessarily, though there is debris down there. Okay, Mick, we don't necessarily want to do this, mate. I mean, the thing is, if we do go in front, that's okay. We just, we're not going to necessarily try and keep there until we get to the lap 69, and then we'll go. But you don't need to do this, Mick. Just let him go. Just let him go. Let him have it. Let him have it for now. There you go. Absolutely fine. We're going to be a little bit careful too, as we do have, if we go to the off-board, we do have cars that have come with us, unfortunately. So we can't be too, what's the word, like cautious in terms of not going to the front, though we are there now. So, because what we don't need to do, obviously, is lose a position, go back to third, then it just gets a little bit more complicated. So as long as we've got a full battery, I mean, we can lead the race, that's fine. Maybe Max is holding us back, but this is very exciting. Is Mick going to win his first Grand Prix? Alright, so Verstappen has gone back in front. Not particularly disappointed about this. We were driving a little bit less hard on the tyres to try and save them, so it's not unexpected that he's got past us. Now we have yeah, now we'll go back up. We'll drive these tyres a little bit harder, and we can try and sit behind him. Hopefully he has not been sort of doing a similar trick and is going to drive away from us now. That would be a bit of a disaster if that happened. We can deploy if we're going to go outside of DRS range. He's getting dangerously close to putting us outside of DRS range. I think this is Max's attempt to run away with the race here, I think. Which hasn't worked so far. We've dropped Lance Stroll a little bit. He's a second and a bit back, so he's not going to have DRS. So it looks as though it is just becoming a two-horse race between Max and Mick. This is tense, isn't it? We're going to come across for 3 laps to go. And we still have our battery in a very, very good place indeed. We've still got extra petrol to burn as well. Which, what that basically means is that we don't have to lift and coast into corners. We can just send it, foot straight from accelerator to brake. And, alright. Don't get too optimistic here, Mick. What we've got to really hope is that he can, will not choke under the pressure of potentially a first Formula 1 win. If we go in front here, we're going across with... Okay, let's deploy. Let's just go now. Let's just go. We're in front. Let's make it very, very difficult for him to come back at us. Let's go full attack. And everybody, if you have something to cross it. Mick's in front. There's 2 laps. So it's not even that. There's a lap and a half to go now. He's pulled a little bit of a gap, you know. Go on, Mickey. Can he break DRS? He's not quite managed to do it there, but the battery's still in a very, very good place. He's outside of DRS now. We could even set fastest lap. But that's the least of our concern. We just want to win the race. We're about to start. We are starting our last lap of the Canadian Grand Prix. Mick Schumacher is leading. He is 0.8 of a second ahead of Max Verstappen. Can he do it? Can he do it? Battery is going to get us to the end. There's no worries there. We're outside of DRS range. I think he's done it. He's just got to not crash. Mick Schumacher Verstappen is falling behind Lance Stroll. Verstappen's not worried about winning the race. Verstappen is just trying to come second now. And as we go on to the back straight, Mick Schumacher, unchallenged, a second and a half clear, is going to win his first Grand Prix in Canada. Well done, Mick Schumacher. What a drive. And unfortunately, Stroll has nicked fastest lap on the last lap, but that's okay. We've got the win. Go on, Mickey boy.
Schumacher, first over the line. And it really comes as no surprise to see the Schumacher name up in lights.
We can't quite imagine how that must feel. It's their first F1 victory after all.
Plenty of smiles from the cameras as the drivers can let off some steam here in Montreal.
So absolutely brilliant. Well done, Mick. We get a cut scene as well for him winning. I'm assuming it's because he doesn't race in any other series, so there's no licensing issue as Giovinazzi races in work, doesn't he? So, but there we go. It's a shame. Obviously, the car was good, wasn't it? It's really a shame that Giovinazzi got taken out there, because you would imagine he was ahead of Mick, wasn't he? I mean, but there was no safety. He also caused a safety car, but it certainly could have been a double podium there, I think. But anyway, Mick goes ahead of Giovinazzi now by a point. So 5th and 6th in the drivers' standings. And in the constructors, well, we've only pulled back 2 points, unfortunately, on Aston Martin there. There's only 1 car finished, and that should have been more. But I think what we may have seen is a little bit of a, hopefully anyway, a changing of the guards as to who is the second best, maybe even the best team right now. And that is Ferrari, and we didn't really pull out much on Mercedes either. Real shame, isn't it? A good car on our day, and we've barely pulled anything out of in terms of the teams around us. But do we do anything with pit stops as well? No. So it's some things aren't going to change in a hurry, and for Romeo now equal with us on 6 points. So let me turn myself off here so you can see the full points. There you go. We are absolutely trashing the pits, aren't we? But these things happen. And Mick had a bit of a slow stop as well, let's not forget. But absolutely brilliant. So happy for him. Mick Schumacher has won a Formula 1 race. So next up, it is the Austrian Grand Prix. Now, you've got to say, in terms of track characteristics, it's not a million miles away from Canada. We've got new engines in the car as well. could there be an argument to say we could go back-to-back wins here? Let's hope so. Let's really hope so. I'm really, really hopeful that underfloor is just going to kick us forward. But anyway, if you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Well done, Mick, and I'll see you in Austria. Take care.